Good morning, everybody. Bruce goes out here, man. We're going to talk about some fighting. Let's. Oh, yeah, my baby, and we go down to the river tonight. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. We're going to get moving over here now. Just put a little something on for the background over here, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We got Bruce Goes over here, man. We're gonna talk about last night's fights. I'm just trying to get my technical shit here straightened out. So bear with me for a bit here. I am relatively new at this here. So get that down a little bit. Get that up a little bit. Yeah. I am. Take care of this here. Take care of this echo. Lower this here just a bit. Yeah, this is kind of crazy here. My technical man's supposed to be coming down a little bit later on today to help me get this straightened out, man. I want to thank everybody that came in here today, bro. I'm going to shout you out before I get started over here. The Don, salute to you, man. My brother Mo Boxing, Peter Von Ox, Fistiana, salute, man. The Jedi, yo Jedi, man. Tim Musi, Almond Brown, thanks for coming in, man. Shadow 979, my brother. George H. Andre. Man, L-Dub. Hey, I appreciate everybody for coming in here, man. I'm going to pull out a little nugget here to start the day. We got us some, got us a little chem dog here, man. Nice little wake up, little bud here for us. The Toka 2, man. It's a Saturday morning. The 18th of December. Crazy around here, man. It was 60 degrees yesterday. And I went out today and it was little snowflakes, a little frozen rain. Crazy living on the East Coast, but man, I wouldn't change it for anything. Is that music in the back too loud, by the way? Anybody let me know, man. I just wanted to put it in there for a little bit of atmosphere in here. I know that's something we lack in the YouTube community, and I'm the biggest lacker of it all, but hey, man, if we can spice it up a little bit, and I want to shout out to my wife, man. She gave me a little bit of Christmas decorations this morning. She put the holly up and she put the lights up, and hey, man, Merry Christmas, first one of the day. Salute to everybody for stopping in here, man. I really do appreciate it. There's a million places to go out here in YouTube, man. And shit, man, I'd probably be there myself if I didn't say I'm gonna come and do one this morning. And 1 second here. Yeah. Good morning, America. The Toka 2, man, crystal clean. I got to shout out to my wife. She cleans it for me every day. Cleans it for herself too. But hey, we love it. Do a few of these to get in the right frame of mind. We can talk about the fights we saw last night, because man, it looked like a Bruno Sammartino Stan Hansen cage match to me. There was so much blood. It was it's like going on back to the WWE. I'm telling you, man, it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. That BETERBIEV, he was a mess. It was a bloodbath, man. It really was. George H. Salute, brother. what I like to do is talk about the card the fights that I saw. I did write them down so I wouldn't forget them here, man. So let's see. The first one I saw, man. Let me turn this music down. I didn't think it would be that loud. I'm gonna have to. Although I love it, man. That's the Bill Evans Trio. Beautiful, beautiful piano music, piano, bass, and drums. Awesome stuff. But anyway, man, the first fight I saw was the Yan Perlin and Francisco Rivas, and man, was that a mismatch. It was a title fight for something. I think it was the NABO title. And bro, I mean, first of all, this Perlin, his name was a big guy. I think he was in his 40s. Kind of had that Klitschko look. He 1-2, jabbing 1-2, very basic fighter. And Francisco Rivas, man, he didn't look like he belonged in the ring. It looks like they just kind of woke him up and said, "Hey, buddy, you want to make a couple of grand? Come with me." And it was a punching bag. It was sad, man. You could see him getting banged off the head, not answering much in return, trying to throw some body shots, occasionally landing a looping overhand right, but it wasn't bothering Perlin at all. And he went on to score an ugly decision. It was an ugly fight, and it was kind of I guess a portal of things that was going to happen that night, man. Because the next fight was Christopher Brooker and Steve Rolls. I mean, we all saw Steve Rolls when he fought Triple G, and whatever we thought about him, we got to understand that he made life-changing money when he fought Triple G, and I think he said his biggest payday before that was $30,000, and he made $300,000, and it changed his life. He could open up a gym. He could hire quality trainers, a nutritionist, get sparring partners. He looked improved. Still, your basic 1-2 punch. He was landing at will. His opponent, Christopher Brooker, out of Philadelphia, a tough kid. He didn't have an amateur career. Jumped right into the pros. He tried his heart out, man. He was a Philadelphia fighter. He didn't like being stopped. The fight was stopped because it started turning one side, and Steve Rolls was showing what he had, man. He a great fighter. And, it's too bad he didn't shine a little better against Triple G. But anyway, I guess this fight was supposedly for a crack at Edgar Berlanga in Madison Square Garden. So that should be interesting, man. Just keep the keep the super middleweight division moving. And hey, man, I'm all for that. Tyrone, man, thanks for coming in. Tim Lucy, I think I shouted you out already, bro. Always cool, man. Let me see if I can figure out how to do these highlighting things here, man. I can answer some of these questions to the best of my knowledge, bro. All right, I thought Marcus Brown could keep running and sticking. He could possibly win the fight, but BETERBIEV kept getting him in the corner, unleashing his power. He's a tough dude, heavy hands. Yeah, I agree with that. We'll get into that fight in a second, man. We'll get into that fight. Carlos Mendoza, thanks for coming in, bro. BETERBIEV has moved up number 10 on my pound for pound list after this. Okay, bro. BETERBIEV is a hard man, no doubt about that. I thought Marcus Brown was looking for a way out. Marcus Brown quit, man. He took that 10 count on his knee, bro. He saw it happening. Renee Box Young, my brother, salute to you, man. Laz TV, Laz Punch Out, my brother. I was on his live last night, man. Laz Punch Out is a very knowledgeable, very friendly guy, man. He's always been my brother, man, from day one, man. I can't say enough good things for Laz Punch Out. But if you want to drop your link, man. In fact, anybody in here, I give most of the people I see in here, well, everybody I see a couple of times, I give them wrenches, and that's so you can drop your links in here, man. That's so you say what you want. Just be kind, man. You know how we do it around here, bro. Bruce Goes doesn't talk any. I'm trying to keep my vocabulary more PG rated. But I see my brother Renee Box Young out there too. My man, dude. Renee Box Young. If it wasn't for Renee Box Young, I wouldn't even be doing this, man. He's the guy that talked me into doing this, bro. He says, "Oh, gee, you got a lot of shit in your." He doesn't say shit. He said, "You got a lot of stuff in your head, bro. You got to come share some of this." And man, Never would have believed it, man. But Renee Box Young, I'm out here now doing this, and man, I want to thank you. I want to thank you and Lavon Cooper the other day for having me on there with strength and conditioning coach Blu-ray, man. That was an experience. It was enlightening, man. Very very powerful guy in boxing, man. Very needed. Damn, I was watching one of Drew's shows, and he had Randall Bailey on there, man. And he had Blu-ray on there too. And Randall Bailey, old school fighter, man, tough guy. Almost knocked out almost everybody he saw. Got knocked out himself, but man, tough dog. If you go in a freaking dark alley, you want Randall Bailey with you. Anyway, Randall Bailey is old school. So we never had any we never had strength and conditioning coaches. We trained, we did our road work. We hit the gym. That was our strength and conditioning. Water, excuse me, a water break over here, man. I can't shout out the superlatives about water. Drink as much as you can. Water hydrates your organs. It keeps your skin nice. I mean, dude, it's the only thing I drink besides my protein shake in the morning. I probably drink close to a gallon of water a day. And I've said it before, water is such a valuable commodity. Dude, did you ever think you'd be paying as much for a gallon of water as gas? I know it's gone quite a bit split since then, but the day that I paid the same amount of money for a gallon of Poland Springs as I paid for a gallon of gas in my car, that's when I said, whoa, this is a precious commodity we're dealing with. And man, when you think about it, damn, they just had a jam up in the Suez Canal not long ago. And if you do any shopping, you see that the prices went crazy. Water is such a commodity, whether it be the bay in front of me that I'm looking at, or the fresh water that God's given me to drink over here, man. Water is a damn. World wars can be fought over water. So love water. If you drink soda, beer, wine, tea, coffee, whatever it may be, if you're drinking that for hydration, man, try to switch to water, because water is the ultimate hydrator, man. Water is life. But anyway, man, we're gonna get back to our fights again. Whereabouts were we on this list here? Oh yeah. Excuse me here. A little splash on the mouth. The Steve Rolls. He's supposed to be getting a fight with Berlanga at Madison Square Garden, which would be a good test for Berlanga, and it'll see what Steve Rolls is all about too, man. So keep this fight going, keep the division happening. Now let's get back to this main event we had here, bro. This was this was the only fight of the night I thought that really piqued my interest. Well, obviously, we got BETERBIEV, who is arguably on the downslide of his career. He's 36 years old. It's amazing what nutrition has come so far, and just the longevity of fighters. George Foreman was huge when he won his heavyweight title at 45, but now we're seeing 45 almost regularly on every card. It's we can thank that to the nutritionists that we have, to knowing how to work out properly, just to keeping ourselves in better shape. And I guess 35 is the new 25. If you want it to be that way. And from what I understand, I speak once in a while to Iceman John Scully, who's a co-trainer of BETERBIEV, and he said the man is a freak, amazing. He's a Muslim, doesn't drink or smoke, or doesn't abuse his body. I don't drink, but I smoke. I smoke the reefer. You guys know that, man. It's my antidepressant. It's my medicine, bro. It is my prescribed medicine for arthritis, man. I have severe arthritis. I've told you many times. I've taken painkillers for it. I got off 8 years of painkiller use and abuse, whatever you may call it. But I tolerate it because I do several lung busters in the morning, and maybe go on here and I forget about the pain. It doesn't go away, and the only way it's going to go away is if I have both of my shoulders surgically replaced. It's just too far-fetched to think for a person to do at my age, or any age really. I mean, if you look at a shoulder replacement, it's a weird thing, man. It's not like a knee replacement. A knee is one joint. It goes one way. A hip is pretty much it's multifaceted, but it doesn't have as much dexterity as a shoulder replacement. They showed me something that looked like a keychain, and they said there's an 18-month rehabilitation period, and you can't lift anything higher than 40 pounds afterwards. And it for somebody like me who was I was an active weightlifter, powerlifter, bodybuilder at the time, man. When they told me this news, it just shattered me. But anyway, that's when I got into the painkillers to mask it and still continue with my nutrition, my training, and my bodybuilding. But it was a mistake. Now I'm paying for it. And hey, man, I thank God that I get the reefer to get me through this. These painful times. But hey, man, that's another story altogether. But the fight we want to talk about, man, that's the BETERBIEV fight. BETERBIEV and Brown, man. Excuse me 1 second here. There was a headbutt. I don't know if it was in the first or in the third round, but right away. And when the doctor looked at it and said, "I'm going to give you one more round," they were both covered in blood. And this was a gash. I mean, it wasn't a very long, but it was deep. This was down to the white meat. This is the kind of fight this is the kind of cut that makes your face just covered with like a tomato. And it's a good thing the mat was red. If the canvas wasn't red, it would have been polka dotted. There was so much blood coming from this fight. And see what I thought was what I was hoping would happen. When they said, I'm trying to pay attention to a couple of things here. I got a couple of 36 today. Isn't like 36 back in 1980. Yeah, that's a fact, brother. That's just what we're talking about, Khan. L Dub, my brother, man. I can't make any mistakes on here when L Dub's in here. I have to think long and hard before I speak because L Dub is the fact checker, bro. L Dub is the man. He lives boxing. I thought I knew boxing until I started listening to L Dub, man. He knows the main eventers. He knows the headliners. He knows the preliminary fighters. Probably knows them personally. The trainers, the managers, bro. L Dub is the boxing. He's the walking, talking index, man. Sub to L Dub. Hopefully we can get BETERBIEV versus Bivol unification before Ramadan, April 2nd. If not, BETERBIEV or BETERBIEV. And in fact, he doesn't even care what you call him. Maybe out of the ring until July or August, and that would be a shame at his age. That would definitely be a shame, man. The light heavyweight division. It's one of my. It's always been one of my favorite divisions, man. I go back to watching the light heavyweight division. Back in the days of Victor Galindez, Matty Parloff. I mean, it was a light heavyweight division. It's always been a favorite of mine. Mike Rossman, when he beat Victor Galindez on the I think it was the Ali Spinks rematch. It was a thing. And Matthew Saad Mohammed. I mean, this guy today would go through the light heavyweight division. This is a man who would take a beating and then come back and dish out a beating, usually knock out his opponents, man. And Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Now we get some classics over here. Dick Tiger, Bob Foster, Archie Moore. I mean, these are the greats. But anyway, this is a division. The light heavyweight division is really a money division because these guys they move like middleweights and they hit like heavyweights. And back in the day, there was no cruiserweight division. Definitely no bruiserweight division. But the light heavyweight division, that was when you were maxed out at a middleweight. You put more muscle on. And man, light heavyweights were a thing of beauty, bro. They hit like mules. They moved like a lighter weights. My brother JC, man, excellent to see you in here, man. Always check out JC, man. The Three-Headed Monster, man. Awesome show, man. Salute to my brother JC. But anyway, what I was hoping when the referee told BETERBIEV, I'm going to give you one more round, I was hoping he would go Hagler, man. I wanted to see him go Hagler. Do you remember the Hagler-Hearns fight? I'm sure you do. If you don't, bro, if you don't remember that fight, then I don't think you belong in a boxing chat. But don't leave, bro. Don't leave. This is not a boxing. This is everything chat. But today it's boxing, man. Today it's the sport that I love. And I was hoping BETERBIEV would take that signal as a time to turn it on, get this fight going. I mean, get this fight over. He didn't panic though. He did it his cold, calculating way, and he broke down Marcus Brown, bit by bit, piece by piece. It was really a thing of beauty to watch him go. But he didn't panic. Like I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say Marvin Hagler panic. Marvin Hagler, he don't panic at nothing, bro. I mean, you tell Marvin Hagler, you got 2 days to live. You say, set up a speed bag for me. I'm going to run in tomorrow morning. I mean, shout out to the great Marvin Hagler, man. But I was hoping BETERBIEV would take that as a signal and really go out there, because that could have ended the fight any time. Blood could have gotten in the eyes. I mean, today blood, it's not like it was even in wrestling, man. Blood's, dude. I remember back in the AIDS days when if a fighter bled, they'd come out with mop and bucket and they'd bleach the ring before the next fight. Blood on blood contact. It's not a good thing. But anyway, last night it was a bloody brawl. But BETERBIEV just did not panic. He had Iceman Scully in his corner, co-trainer, man. Iceman Scully said to him, remember in training, remember you were sending those sparring partners home and you were sorry, you didn't want to hit him in the body? He says, go out there and send this guy home. Bro, if that's not the words of wisdom from an experienced trainer, a guy who's been in there, with everybody, man. John Scully gave him the word, man. He did not panic, and he did not get over rambunctious and go out there and just try to end the fight. He slowly, cold, calculatedly broke down Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown, he was trying to box, he was trying to stay away, but BETERBIEV would get him, corner him, get him in the corner, and unload with body punches, head punches. I think it was what was it? Did I write down when the fight was stopped? Was it the 9th, the 10th round? But the thing was, man, Marcus Brown, he knew he was in over his head. He was tasting those heavy punches. He went down once before. He went down again. This time, man, it was from a left hook to the liver. It was that shot that we see occasionally on fights. The kind Bernard Hopkins dropped Oscar De La Hoya with, man. The one we saw Zejas use last week. That left hook to the liver. Once you get hit with that punch, even though you can get up, your body doesn't want you to get up. And I think that's the punch that I think that's the feeling that Marcus Brown had in his head. I mean, the brain was willing, but the flesh was weak. And man, I give a lot of heads up to BETERBIEV on that, man. I was hoping it wouldn't go to decision. He was clearly ahead, but I wanted to see that killer instinct, man. When that referee tells you one more round, man, all I could think of was the referee telling Marvin Hagler one more round. And bro, Thomas Hearns was carried out of that ring, man. It was reality, and I was just hoping that would happen last night. But like my brother L Dub said, we'd love to see a unification with Bivol or even Joe Smith, because I don't understand why these light heavyweights they're talking about fighting everybody but another light heavyweight. They're talking about fighting cruiserweights and middleweights and super middleweights moving up. It's boxing the way it is today, man. It's all I can do is go along for the ride, man. Because like I've explained before, the old days. We were fed filet mignon, and it was beautiful. HBO After Dark, even our weekly Tuesday night fights and our ESPN Friday night fights. Showtime was just starting up, and a pay-per-view was truly an event. It was a pay-per-view. It wasn't like the $80 garbage they're throwing at us now and expecting us to pay. But it is what it is, and we're getting maybe quantity over quality now, but at least we're getting something. We're having fights on every weekend, and it's almost to the point where, hey, my brother Trill Will, bro, thank you so much for coming in, man. I appreciate it. Kui, man. Thank you, everybody. I mean, Saturday morning, people could be anywhere, man. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart that you stopped in to see me, and 88 Sports. Anybody out there I miss, man? My eyeballs will be getting fried on here too from reading the screen. I went for a checkup last week. The eye doctor told me I got a cataract in my fucking left eye. So I said, what do I do about it? He says, don't do anything about it. If it bothers you in 6 months, give me a call. So hey, man, You know, I got the glasses somewhere around here. If I have to do some squinting, then I'll throw the specs on. But hey, bro, it is what it is, man. Dude, I thank God. I'm really, really happy. I'm grateful to be on here, man. You know, you guys really blow my mind, man. I can't believe I have 17 people listening to me, bro. I don't think I have 17 friends right now, man. You know, internet's a great thing, man. It is really, and it's nice to come on here and, you know, chop up anything that's on my mind. You know, I told you when I was first starting this site, I was going to talk about boxing, of course, man. We love boxing. You know, I go way back. Boxing is my thing, but I also like to talk about professional wrestling. I like to talk about music and jazz. You can hear that in the background, man. You know, jazz is what jazz is like my baby, my life, my wife, my thing, my swing. I mean, damn, you know, music, all kind of music. I listen to everything. I listen, you know, the only thing I don't listen to rap because, you know, during that time I was into jazz so heavy that I couldn't listen to anything else. I was immersed in jazz, but I listen to shit, man. I don't even want to get into my musical tastes. I listen to everything and anything, and you know, I like to talk about on health and nutrition because, you know, that's my bag, bro. I'm gonna be 67 in a couple of weeks, man, and you know. Damn, I look at my friends that are my age, man. A lot of them have passed away, bro. A lot of them are, they just don't want to, they're not with it anymore. They're aging gracefully, and I'm going to say bullshit. There's no such thing as aging gracefully, bro. I mean, you know, you just kind of take care of yourself. The older you get, you realize your body's not going to be able to digest some of the food you put in there when you were younger. I mean, you have to drive by the McDonald's and the Pizza Huts and, you know, all that shit. Your body can't take that anymore. My body can't. Speaking for myself, you know, I try to eat as clean a diet as I can. I want to thank my wife. She's like my nutritionist, man. She looks out for me because I haven't been in a supermarket, dude. The last time I was in a supermarket was when my wife broke her foot at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm very fortunate, man. Shout out to my wife. But anyway, man, like I'm saying, you know, as you get older, you have to look at what you're putting into your body. Even as you're younger, man, you know, don't wait for somebody in a white coat to tell you have to eliminate trans fats and you have to get your sodium down. You know, your blood pressure's too high. Diabetes. I mean, it runs rampant in our community, white or black. You don't take care of yourself, man. You eat greasy, saturated foods that are saturated in trans fats, high sodium. Damn, you know, you just do some label reading. If you see things on there you can't pronounce, Google them, and you see some of the crap they put in the food we eat. I mean, these things are carcinogens, but they put trace amounts, thinking that, you know. I mean, the FDA scientists say that, you know, we're going to pass that all out of our bodies. Man, you know, look at it. You know, look at it all. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I looked at something in the chat. I saw somebody that I thought I knew that I didn't give him a bulletproof suit on here, but it was just me playing games here. Volks UK, man, salute. Thanks for coming in, man. Oh, where was I here? Where was I? That's one thing about me. You know, I'll start talking, then I'll go on another subject, and then I'll forget what the H I was talking about, man. You know, it's funny because I'll be going in my conversations and okay, yeah, Renee, you're right. So many chemicals in the foods out there, and the thing is, you know, you can get away with eating almost anything that's out there, bro. Anything you want. Occasionally, you know, don't make a habit of eating bad foods. You know, I was doing a show with my brother, Big Duke, last night. Fourth quarter nutrition, man. You know, fourth quarter talk. In fact, he's going to do a show today with he's going to do a basketball show. He's going to have it's you know, anyway, we do a show Friday afternoons, fourth quarter talk. We talk about nutrition, and we were just looking at some of the foods that they serve in some of these roadside diners. He lives in South Carolina, and bro, they had these platters of this. I don't know what. Maybe it was chili fries. It was mounds of chili on French fries with guac and cheese, and the thing must have had 8,000 calories to it. It must have weighed 2 pounds. In the day, I could polish that off, but serving this to a family of 4, very, very very obese family. Even the dog was obese. I mean, it was almost put out like a joke, but I find humor in almost everything, man. I really do. I'm the kind of guy who I see somebody slip on a banana peel on their ass, and before I go ask them if they broke their back, I'll laugh a few minutes. But anyway, man, it was meant to be funny, but I look at most of the people around me, bro, and obesity it rules in this country. Unfortunately, most people don't really care about what's happening, and when you do, you're almost alienating yourself. You're breaking out of the pack. You're breaking into another comfort zone, and people don't like that, man. They push you away for it. They want you back in the herd. They want you eating junk food. Putting on pounds. Getting bigger. Wearing muumuus or whatever. I gotta watch the language, but when I start getting going, sometimes I want to drop some f-bombs. And Renee Box, young man, I think about you, bro. I'm not gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna try to keep my f-bombs to a minimum. But anyway, man, the nutritional aspect. If the family as a whole eats unhealthy, man, they're gonna be unhealthy. And like I'm saying, the dog's getting leftovers. And eating is not a time to be gluttonous and filling ourselves with what we can get our hands on. A little bit of nutrition. Learn what you're putting into your body. Utilize the calories. There's only 3 things we're putting in there: is fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. You can learn the difference. You can learn the quality. And bro, it'll just make your life healthier. Because I don't want to start on the bullshit health is wealth and everything else. But man, if I wasn't eating healthier, I'd never have the energy to do this, man. I love being active, and I love coming on here, and I couldn't do that if I didn't take care of myself. And that includes from the tutor to the shooter, bro. Everything you're putting in your body. And today it's been a fast day. So today I kind of didn't. I started off with my protein shake. I have protein and a jar of yogurt in there with water. Shake that up, bang. After I do my cardio, a good brisk 2.5 mile walk or so with the dog. Do that on an empty stomach. That's the key, because that's when your body wakes up. It's in what they call a glycogen-free state. You've been fasting for 8 hours, 10 hours or so. And, you get your heart rate up. Your body looks for a fuel source, and your body prefers glycogen, which is the byproduct of carbohydrates. Now, if you don't have any carbohydrates in your body, your metabolism is going to look for another fuel source, and fat is the second preferred fuel source. And that's when it keys in on your body fat stores. So, do your cardio first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Get that heart rate going. Get your body rate. Get your BMI up a little bit, man. And you'll see the difference on the scale, as opposed to having a couple of meals and then going out for a jog, or getting on a bicycle, or whatever it may be. The key is do it on an empty stomach, and you'll burn fat. It's a fact. If you notice, boxers jog first. Boxers do road work. I don't want to say jog, because boxers don't jog, man. I tell a boxer he's jogging, but I'm going to catch one of those right hands to the head. So anyway, man, most boxers do their road work early in the morning, and I don't think a lot of them even realize the reason for that is it's to get that excess body fat off, bro. I mean, you have to be lean and tight. You have to be 5-6% when you get in the ring. And heavyweights, obviously, we've seen some of them coming in that, with spare tires over their waist. But anyway, when you get into the lighter weight division, you have to make your weight. It's a tough thing. It takes dedication. And just a little tip, man. If you want to burn body fat, do it on an empty stomach. Your body will burn fat, as opposed to just calories in, calories out. See, if there's no calories in, it's going to be all calories out. If you expend those calories on an empty stomach, your body needs a fuel source. There's no sugar in there. There's no carbohydrates. What converts to glycogen. And all carbohydrates they're a simple and they're a complex. Meaning a handful of cotton candy and a handful of kale. They're both carbohydrates, but one's a simple carbohydrate, one's a complex carbohydrate, which simply means that once you digest them, the complex carbohydrate takes a while to break down. It breaks down slowly. It contains fibers, It's just a good thing. It burns a slow, steady sauce. Where if you take the handful of cotton candy, a simple carbohydrate, that's a flash. That's quick energy. That's what you want to do if you're gonna go run a sprint. If you need some fast energy. But if you don't burn that energy up, man, that's stored as body fat. So with carbohydrates, stick to the complex carbohydrates. Johnny Blaze, my brother. I'm just about to fire one up, bro. Salute to you and anybody out there that enjoys a good wake and bake, man. So anyway, man, one of my I don't know, how can we call it a vice? So much shit that we do around here. The boxing historian 206, man. Thanks for coming in, bro. Appreciate it. But anyway, we were talking about that fight last night. I don't know if we got through with it. The things that I put down here, yeah, BETERBIEV, man. Dude, I think that's the only boxer, the only champion who has a 100% knockout ratio, 17-0, 17 knockouts, and he carried on another one last night. I really hope that light heavyweight title gets unified. It's a glorious division. There were some great boxers in there, man, especially right now, but they all want to go in different directions. And the way the boxing scene is, we bow down to what the alphabet organizations, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, the WBO, what they say, we bow our heads and we go to. And those organizations, man, they are what we used to call them banana republic federations. Back when the WBA, when I first heard about that, it was in Venezuela, excuse me. I mean, now it's in Panama, but it was run by Carlos Mendoza, and the WBC that was Jose Suleiman. Now who's the president? Their sons, Mauricio Suleiman and Gilberto Mendoza. I mean, that doesn't really say that something fair is going on there, bro. That kind of says that it's it's kind of like a monarchy, where they make the rules, we bend down, and we don't even question them. And you look at some of the rankings, and you see people in the rankings that nobody's heard of. Where these people come from. I'm trying to highlight my stuff over here. Yep, he's definitely a monster, bro. He's definitely a monster. 36 years old. I thought we were going to see the tail end of his career, but what we saw was a slow, methodical breakdown of Marcus Brown, who really, Marcus Brown was in there with a new trainer, and that's not the fight you want to get into, a light heavyweight title fight with a killer on your first fight with a new trainer. But hey, man, you know how boxing is. You can't let opportunities slip by, and like they say, man, if you got a pulse and you got two fists, anything can happen. If you're a professional fighter, bro, anything in the boxing world can happen. So, anybody has any opinions on that fight, I'm gonna see if I can do this properly. I'll drop a link out there because I've spoken on the fights pretty much what I wanted to. I don't know if I forgot anything, but if anybody wants to stop in, say hello, bro. Just I'm gonna drop a link out there. I like doing that because people do that for me. That's the only way I would have ever got on panels before. And I've had broke my cherry on panels, and man, I just kind of get into it. And my technician has got me set up here with two screens, so I'm going through a little bit bizarre stuff. As a matter of fact, he called me this morning. He's going to come by in a little bit, and he's going to straighten out my technical stuff over here. Let me zoom in with my camera. Anyway, man, I got to shout out to my brother Rick, man. He's my computer guy. This guy was a mailman in the post office. He was a mailman for about 25 years, but the internet was his thing. and he's a guy who really, he wasn't a follower. In the post office, you really have to go by the rules. And my man Rick, he was a leader of the pack, and he put up with it to get his pension. He went through a lot of baloney, but anyway, his heart was always in computers. He went to New England Tech, and I remember he was laid off from the post office. They had some kind of thing where he didn't have any money. He had to take a bus to Providence, another bus to New England Tech. He did that for like 2 years, man. I'm talking about blizzard cold. This was the winter of '95 around here, man. I owned a restaurant, and I had to pay $100 every week just to have my parking lot plowed out, sometimes twice a week. It was crazy. And this son of a bitch, man, went up, and he's so intelligent. His kid dropped out of high school, and his kid just does what his father does, and it's like four hands when they come on. Anyway, he said he'd be coming on later today, and if he comes down, I guess he will, and help me straighten out this stuff, because I'm such a newbie at this, bro. The technical aspect, man, I am so inept that I'd make a fool out of myself if left to my own devices. So I'm thankful that my boy Rick's coming down later to to upgrade me a little bit. But anyway, man, I talked about those fights. I just want to do a little live in here. If anybody wants to come on, man, I'll stay for a few more minutes. Do a couple more Toka 2s over here, man. The Toka 2 is my means of dealing with the realities and the pains, the hardships, whatever else comes along, bro. But anyway, it's more for fun. But see, this Toka 2, this was something that I found this back in the 70s when I was a college student. Somebody turned me on to bongs, one-hit bongs. It's a long thing, maybe even a little spiritual. But anyway, man, I had one of these, Christ, 40 years ago, over 40 years ago. It was $24.99. I thought it was the biggest investment I made in my life. I had it for years. I think my wife broke it cleaning it one day. It was no big deal, man. It's material. Material things come and go. I didn't even shed a tear. But I was Googling something the other day, and I just Googled the Toka 2 to see if anybody remembered it. And all of a sudden, bang, a legend has returned, the Toka 2. So I went on the line, and I saw it. I said, wow, man, that's... I asked my wife if I could get it. It was $100, $99.99. And, hey, shout out to my wife. Here it is. It was crystal clear this morning. To me, it's the cleanest way to smoke. You smoke joints, you smoke even vapes. Man, it congests me. This bad boy, it's filtered through water. I mean, it's not the best we could do. Edibles would be more appropriate, I'm sure. But I like smoking. And yeah, am I watching Parker and Chisora? Oh yeah, Mo, for sure, bro. Mo Boxing, my brother. Shout out to Mo Boxing. Oh man, heavyweights. I love heavyweight fighting, man. Loves heavyweight boxing. In fact, I'm so looking forward to that fight. The first fight that actually captivated me in front of the television. See, I go back. I was born in 1954, and I remember Ali in the 60s, but I wasn't like captivated. I see when Ali when he was stripped of his title, when he rejected the draft. Back then, see, Vietnam War was raging, and I'm from a small town, and a lot of kids went to Vietnam and didn't come back. Not I'm going to say maybe a half dozen that I know the families personally, and they resented Ali. They were calling him the coward, the draft dodger. Because my town was predominantly white, and people had. They went to see Ali, but they wanted to see him lose, man. And when he was stripped of his title, Joe Frazier was he was the next. But there was a tournament and everything else, and I was watching it from the outside, but I was really too young to pay attention to it. I saw the tournament. I remember seeing Jimmy Ellis and Joe Frazier. I listened to it on the radio, as a matter of fact. It was I think one of the last fights that was televised live on the radio. But I was into that. I was watching professional wrestling more on a Saturday morning. Boxing was cool, but it wasn't really. I loved it, but I wasn't a fan of boxing yet. I dug Muhammad Ali. I liked his attitude. I was a rebellious cat myself, so I associated myself with Ali. But I came home one Friday night. I think I was washing dishes at a restaurant somewhere, man. And the fight on it was Jerry Quarry and it was George Chuvalo. These were two white heavyweights from the 70s, man, and 60s and early 70s, late 60s. Both tough. I mean, today they would be, Chuvalo would be like a Joe Joyce, but I think Chuvalo would probably be a champion today. And Jerry Quarry, man, Jerry Quarry, he knocked out Ernie Shavers, bro. He fought Ali, he fought Foreman. He only got beat by the best, man. But anyway, these two guys are fighting, and Jerry Quarry was pretty much winning the fight. Jerry Quarry was staying on the outside, the jab, power right hands. Chuvalo was a plotter, but Chuvalo had a chin. I think in over 100 fights. I don't think Chuvalo got knocked off his feet, let alone knocked out. Excuse me for a second. I gotta blow my nose. Yeah, we don't want to do that on camera. Anyway, man, I'm watching this fight, and I'm saying, wow, these guys, this is real. This isn't like professional wrestling. These guys are trying to take each other's heads off, and the punches that were bouncing off of George Chuvalo's face. I mean, dude, I'm saying, wow. Anyway, Chuvalo lands this crazy right hand, and he floors Jerry Cooney. And I think the fight, it might have been in Canada. I don't know exactly where it was, but the place went crazy. And Jerry Cooney went down to one knee, got knocked down, but then took a knee. And he's watching his corner, and they're saying, they're giving him the count, and the referee's giving him the count. And he was confused. He just got knocked down. Anyway, he got counted out on one knee, and he got up, and his corner went crazy. And Chuvalo's corner went crazy. And, bro, this was a riot. This was like Bo and Galata, man. This was nuts. This was, I'm saying, wow, this is boxing. I have to start watching this. And I think like the next day, man, it might have been like a Carlos Monzon, Rodrigo Valdez fight. And that's when I started saying, wrestling, I dug it and I still watch it. But this boxing is real stuff. These guys are getting their noses bashed in. They're getting knocked out cold. But anyway, man, whatever we were talking about, this is how I fell in love with boxing, man. I started watching it after that. I couldn't get enough of it, and it's the same today. I get up in the morning. I put YouTube on. I go see who's throwing alive, but then a lot of it's not boxing. I go on with my brother, the Gold Professor. He just does it's a spiritual thing, man. He talks about life. He talks about realities. He talks about ideals, man. It's a great way to wake up, and then I go see the OG a little while later, and Made Man, everybody's out there. I don't want to start mentioning names, so I'm going to forget them. I already did, but whenever I see some of my brothers out there, my sisters, I love hopping on there. It's like I've immersed myself in this. Like I sang that song, The River, because this is like a river, bro. I jump in it. But anyway, man, it's a Saturday. It's fight day, man. If you're a cat like me, you're going to have those streams going all afternoon and all night long tonight. I don't know about the Jake Paul Woodley fight, but hey, man, boxing is boxing, and I've said it before. I love combat sports. If I were to walk out there and I saw a couple of dudes throwing punches in front of my front door, bro, that'd be the start of a good day. Hey, man, I was about to go off, but I'm going to stay on a little bit longer because a brother just came in the stream over here, man. Somebody that I've been wanting to talk to on for a long time, man. He called me the Godfather, bro. He's my man, JC, man. Shout out to you, JC. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on, man.
The Godfather, man. It's an honor, man. I just had to come on for a few minutes, man, show some respects, man. And it's just an honor to be on here with you, man. I appreciate you coming and supporting me on Wednesdays, and And, you know, every time I see you in other people's chat, man, I have to give you a shout out, man. It's just, you know, I'm drawn to, I guess, good vibes and stuff. And that's all I've been getting from you ever since I first started seeing you in people chats, man. And for a while, you know, like I had told you, I didn't even know you was doing stuff like this. So finally one morning, I was at work, you know, doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, right? And I see you on, and I was like, Bruce Gold. And I seen you, and I'm like, and I clicked on it, and you was talking about wrestling. You was talking about old school wrestling. And I grew up, you know, with my grandparents, and you know, the early weekends, I can't remember was it on the Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, but you know, when I got up, they was tuned to wrestling, man. So you brought back a lot of memories, and I kept hitting the little bell icon, but it seemed like every time I come on, it's unchecked. So, but today I happened to come on, and I saw that you was live, man. I just had to come on and say salute to you, man. I'm
Oh
hoping
man.
I'm hoping everything's good with you and your family, man. And I see you over there getting your thing on, man. I was over here laughing like I said, look at him. The old man, the Godfather over there getting it in, man. How you feeling?
Bro, man, I'm thanking God for every day up here. You know, it's a blast. You know, I see you guys doing your shows and smiling. I said, man, you know, I got to do something like that because I can't. I want to reach out. I want to talk to these brothers, man. You know, I want to pass a blunt to them. This is as close as we can get, man. And JC, man, this is fucking real to me, bro. You know, this is real as we can get, man. You know, and I appreciate you honoring my show with your presence, man. You know, I love going on your show, Kui and Bugs, man, dude. If you could see me, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm laughing. I'm crying, bro. I mean, you guys bring it home, man. You know, and every time you're sipping on that brown, man, I'm taking a toke on my toke too. My head's with you, my heart's with you, bro. You drop your link in there because that's a beautiful show that you do, man. It's once a week on a Wednesday night, and man, you don't meet me there, as the coach says, beat me there. You know, make sure you go see JC, man. Qui's over there. It's nothing but love, man. It's a good time, bro. It's a good time, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. We got some different things coming up next year, man. And I think me and Quick been in the works just to having our own little show to come on. About I don't know. We still got to talk about probably once a week, about an hour or two. So yeah, man, we just do the show, man. It's just therapy to us. We just get on, get stuff off our chest, and exchange ideas and opinions and stuff, man. And I really enjoy coming on, man. But more importantly, I appreciate people like you and yourself that come on and support us every week.
Well, the thing I really dig about this is we can talk different subjects. Like you said, man, you caught me talking about big time wrestling. And bro, you're gonna be surprised how many people said, "Oh, you did a wrestling show? Damn, I missed that. I wanted to get on there." Because everybody's was a wrestling fan at one time or another. You know, even when it wasn't cool to be a wrestling fan, and then when it was. But dude, we can chop up pro wrestling because that was real, man. That was Saturday morning, and I don't care if I was out playing with the dog, playing football. 11 o'clock came on, and damn, that was WWE on an hour on there, and that's what we live for. And then after that, we go in the backyard, we body slam each other, throw forearms. You know, pro wrestling was the thing, man. You know, head butts. Well, people must have thought we were fucking crazy, the shit we used to do.
Yeah, we used to be roughing it in the backyard. Me and my in my neighborhood, because I was on a child in my household, but we used to play rough, and the parents would come outside and, boy, you gonna hurt somebody, you gonna break somebody's neck, because we was actually trying those things that we saw on TV, everything from the neck breaker, the body slams, coming off the porch. We was doing all that, man. So yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Well, you know, the thing was, we got boxing gloves, and we tried to play boxing in the backyard, and that wasn't going to work out. After a couple of broken noses, and you go home with a black eye. So we switched to the WWE style. But bro, man, there. And that's how we grew up. And if we can get on and relate to something like that, brings back memories. And I was talking to Blood the other day. He grew up down south with the NWA, with the Junkyard Dog, and the different guys. Once we had cable, we all interacted. We knew what was going on with the different federations. But man, it just makes us laugh, and that's what it's all about, man. Laughing is that's fertility. That's going to keep us young, and maybe I laugh too much, man. I've been in funerals where the wrong guy shook my hand, and I have to hold back and freaking chuckle, because memories of what we used to do with the guy that we're putting under right now. Because man, it's all love, and when we can bring it over here, man, we can chop it up about wrestling, boxing, music, nutrition. That's why I want to get on and start a YouTube channel. And I didn't do one for about 7 days, and I had a couple people ask me, when you're doing a live, and I'm saying, damn, I can't think of anything to do a live on. I saw the fights last night, and I was buzzed about midnight. I said, I'm going to do a live tomorrow, so I typed it in there. And then I got up this morning. I said, damn, yeah, I'm psyched, man. I'm going to get on here for a half hour or whatever, bro. And then I get in here, and then my brother JC comes on. I get a lot of good shit off my chest. I got a good buzz on. We got boxing coming on. Like I said, my bro's coming on to fix my camera and all this shit up. So it's a great day, man. I'm gonna go hug my wife when I'm done, man. I'm gonna have some lunch in about a half hour, an hour or so, man. Get forward to watching the fights, man. JC, bro. This is where it's at for me, man. I couldn't be in a better state of mind, in a better place. Did I ever show you what I look at every day, bro?
No, I missed it.
All right, well, just hang on for just 1 second. I'm just gonna do something before I get off air, man.
Okay. Man, this is exciting.
Keep it rolling, brother.
This is exciting, man. Man, it's just been an honor, man, to even just be on the same screen with this man, y'all, man. And I can't say that for everybody, but man, it's just an honor, man. How's everybody doing out in the chat, man? I'm your boy JC, man. Just came on for a little bit, speak to the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? I started calling him the Godfather because he used to go on people's lives and he would never have his face on. He used to always have the picture, but when I hear his voice, I was like, oh man, this is the Godfather right here. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed.
This is what I look out my window at every day, bro.
Oh man. Are them seagulls or?
Yeah, bro. Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, my wife has a pet seagull out there. He's on my house. It's freaky, bro. It really is. This is why I smoke a lot of the weed, bro. But let me get that down here if I can.
Votes UK, I appreciate you. Thank you. Hey man, that cloudy sky and the way them waves moving, man, you must be up north somewhere.
Yeah, man, I'm in Rhode Island.
Oh snap. Okay then.
And
wow.
I'm in the Mount Hope Bay, bro. This is about I'm gonna say about 15 or so square miles, and it goes right out into the Atlantic Ocean. So when we get a northeaster, I live right on the northeast. The sun rises at what you're looking at right there, bro. So when we get a northeaster, those waves pick up, and you can actually surf at what you're looking at if you're crazy enough.
Wow.
We get 6-footers out there. I get waves that crack. My house is that's what you're looking at, bro. I could drop a fishing pole out the window.
Oh my God. Hey man, life is good.
You know it, brother. That's why I can't complain about anything, man. That's my antidepressant. When I retired, man, I was kind of in a lost state. I go see my doctor for the annual physical, and he's like, man, you just don't seem to have it. What's up, bro? The last couple of times I've seen you, you've been like singing the blues, and I'm like, doc, I'm not working anymore. Every place I go, I'm just going to spend money. And, it's just, it's kind of, I said that wrong word. I said depressing. I guess it must have rang a bell in his head. Next thing I know, the guy's got me trying Wellbutrin. And I'm like, what am I taking? A fucking pill. I look it up in the PDR. I says, I don't need this, man. I don't show signs of clinical depression, bro. I'm not suicidal, homicidal. So anyway, I said, Doc, and this is 6 months later. I said, what am I on this for? I don't feel any different. I still get mad. I still get nothing has changed. And anyway, I told him, I said, my thing is the weed. I like to smoke weed, and he's agreeing with me. He's nodding his head. He said, but you can't stop taking these pills. You have to gradually get off of them. Whatever, I said, but I just don't want to take them anymore. Anyway, it took me about 6 months to wean off the suckers. And I told him, my antidepressant is what I look at every day, the people I deal with, and the good weed that I'm smoking. And, he's talking about the strains and everything with me. And I said, well, how about giving me a marijuana card so I don't have to worry about getting busted if I have an ounce in my pocket? And he's like, oh, well, I don't write those cards out. But I can tell you a doctor who does. And so anyway, he sent me to another doctor. The guy didn't take my insurance first. I don't think he took any insurance. It was like a little desk set up in an office building where they took your information. They gave you a virtual phone call on the next day. It lasted about 30 seconds. You had to pay a $150 fee, and then you got your card. It was a scam, but it just got me really pissed off on how the government treats, or even the state, how they treat marijuana smokers. They're making you pay more money for medicine, and you can't even get a prescription for it. The pills they were giving me were costing the insurance company like $400 a month, where I don't smoke $400 worth of weed a month. But when I asked them about that, hey, when I go to the commissary, can I get a prescription? Oh, no, you're on your own there. But anyway, bro, I look at that water every day. I see so much wildlife out there. It's like a National Geographic magazine I'm going through. So bro, that takes the place of any antidepressants a doctor could possibly give me. And that with the good bongs that I'm doing over here, the Toka 2s, man, life is good, bro. It really is, man. I thank God every day.
Man, that's a beautiful scene, man. I have to drive not far, maybe 10, 15 minutes downtown. We got this river walk that's on the Savannah River that separates my state and South Carolina, man. And first of all, they need to get in there and clean it out. And then secondly, the best of birds I get there, man, is ducks, which is not bad. I mean, so I usually go there early on the weekends, like you was talking earlier, before I eat. I go to the gym, and then I run downtown, and I do that quick little walk around the river walk, man, and I just take in the scenery. I just wish that our city councilmen would do better with as far as keeping it looking nice down there on the river walk, but it is what it is, man. It is like you say, man. I'm thinking, you going through this. I thinking recently. I've been going through midlife crisis. And last Wednesday on the show, we was talking about depression and all. So, yeah, definitely when I'm in the gym, single, I come home to an empty house, which is good in a way to me. I just go to the gym, and then I go downtown to the river walk, man, and I just walk, take in the scenery with the river, the birds and the snakes and all that, and come home. And I'm an author, so I write. So I jump on my manuscript like I was doing this morning when I saw you on live, man. So, and that's pretty much it for me, man. So definitely I understand where you're coming from when you're saying looking at that scenery of the water and everything, man. And one more thing, man. I told you, man, is you're on my bucket list to meet, bro. Some kind of way we're gonna meet up at one of these gatherings or in passing or something. We're gonna make it happen.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. I'll tell you, JC, since you stopped on my house over here, bro, I've had a smile on my face, man. It's you're a good brother, bro. I feel a link with you. I feel a bribe, man. We could go hang out, bro. I could go party with you, man. The thing is, bro, I wouldn't want you for my cellmate. We're gonna say goodbye at the end of the night, but I'll tell you, you're my brother, and shout out to you, man. Shout out to the fucking 99 headed monster out there, bro. I love it, man.
I appreciate it, man. I'm up here. I'm looking at John Blaze, man. You got me rolling. I smoke around $400 a weed every month. Woo, woo.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny Blaze. I'm only joshing about that. I was just I'd probably blow around $100 a week on the herb, man. You know, it is what it is, and hey, man, I don't have any other vices really, and that's what you know. My wife keeps telling me that a lot because I'm a fucking tightwad inside, you know. I'm the kind of guy who I'm like a squirrel, man. I like to gather nuts. I like to bury for the tough times, for the winter months. But you know, my wife said, you don't spend it. You stay home all the time. You don't go out. You drive around. You go down to the shore. You know, and you're so right about people that really dig what I'm seeing. And you know, I was taking it for granted for a long time, bro. JC, I've been living here since 1979. You know, and I've thought about moving. You know, in fact, I have booked for you know several months at a time. But I come back and like I never really appreciated it until until I got off the fucking drugs and until I really kind of I opened myself up a little bit. I came on YouTube. I just kind of I just realized how fortunate I am and how blessed I am to have this. You know, I'll actually go to my car some mornings and there'll be a little note on there. If you're interested in selling your house, my wife and I have been looking at it and blah, blah, blah. You know, I rip them up, man, because the only way I'm coming out of here feet first. You know what I'm saying, bro? They're going to be carrying me out. And, bro, I thank God every day. And, you know, me and my wife are down here. We're living, we're loving, we're just digging it, bro. And nothing else can be said, man. Guys like you stop in my house and, you brighten it up, bro. You bring the real estate value up around here.
Man, I had to do it, man. And I'll tell you, man, that scene that you looking at right there, man, it beats living in the inner city any day, bro. Outside looking at people and it seems like it's kind of quiet too. That there ain't much going on outside the home or anything. I mean, I don't know, but man, money ain't worth losing all that, man, in my opinion. In fact, I was in the process of house hunting, and I was trying to decide to grab a condo on the Riverwalk overlooking the river downtown, man. But that stuff is in the works, man. But that is beautiful, man. That is beautiful.
Yeah, my wife's moving the camera around a little bit.
Don't know where I'm going.
Okay. Salute to the wifey.
That's cool. Hey, I got the dock next door there. That's like sitting on the dock of the bay, bro. It's low tide right now. When the tide comes up, you can dangle your feet off the end there into the water. And bro,
Really?
I'll go there with a blunt and just sit there. And you see that see the boat out there. Oh yeah, bro. Bro. You know how I do that karaoke before I start my show?
I never ever caught the beginning of it, man.
You got to play back. I did the river this morning. I think my next one I'm going to do sitting on the dock of the bay, man. Otis Redding.
Okay.
And I told you my bro's coming down to show me a little more technical stuff. I'm going to see if I can get the camera outside and take it from there. But anyway, bro, Chain with Ice, Teach, man. Shout out to you guys, Con Shawnery, man, Ice Man, my brother, and everybody else in here. JC, you want to say anything before I get on out of here?
Hey man, salute to you, man. I appreciate you supporting us, man. I appreciate seeing you in the chats, man, with your wisdom, man. It's just an honor. And again, all I want to say, man, is we got to make that bucket list of mine happen. We got to cross paths, man. I feel like a good conversation with you. I don't smoke, but I think for that
I'll smoke enough for the both of us.
No. We'll puff give that day, bro. You know what I'm saying? We'll do it.
Hey, I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in 23 years, bro. But hey, man, I never say never.
Oh, you got good kidneys and liver then, huh?
I'm no alcoholic either, bro. But so I never say never.
Congratulations, man. Appreciating you having me on for a few minutes, man. Just an honor, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, bro. Thank you, my bro. Peace to you.
Y'all take it easy, y'all.
Hey, man, I appreciate everybody for stopping in here, man. You guys on a Saturday morning, you could have been anywhere. We got some great boxing coming up, dude. You know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be right where I am now, except the camera's going to be turned off. I'm going to be watching some I'm going to be watching some fighting, which is what I love, which is what we all love, man. That it's what it is, bro. It's one love, man. I'm looking up here, man. I got 33 likes, man. I couldn't think of 33 people liking me and anywhere, bro. And just shout out to everybody here, man. You guys are great, man. This is Bruce Goes, and if you got somebody to hug it. If you got somewhere to go there. Nothing's guaranteed, bro. There isn't. Tomorrow's not a guarantee in life, man. Every day, live it and love it, bro. It could be the last, man. I try to practice what I preach. YouTube is a great thing, man. Nothing but gratitude for coming on here, bro. I'm out of here, man. Peace.